I have a story to tell you. A quite incredible, unbelievable story. A man called Jack Young came to me and offered me a job. Now, to my knowledge, I had never met this man before, so I was completely confused as to why he was offering me a job. But I was even more confused when he told me the job was as a football manager, a real life football manager. I explained to him that I'm not a real football manager. I just sit around in my pants and play the game Football Manager in my spare time and upload videos to the internet. But he didn't care. He spoke as if I was his best friend. Weirdly, he even called me boss at one point. He said that Paul Holder-Moran was the one for him. I asked why, so he told me. So, this is the tale of Jack Young. Jack Young was born in Brackley, England, on the 27th of April 1999 to Jack Young Sr., owner of a reputable plumbing business in southern England, and Melanie Young, a football coach. Jack had a comfortable upbringing thanks to the ever-increasing success of his dad's plumbing business, and from a young age learned the art of plumbing, or water Lego, as his crazy uncle used to say. His mum taught him how to play football, and in his mid-teens was signed up by his local side, Brackley Town FC. He progressed through the youth team before one day, at the age of 17, he was approached by a new club that had formed in Surrey. They called themselves Regen Rovers and had taken the place of Poole Town in the National League South due to the fact that Poole went bust. Now, his dad wanted him to eventually take over the family business as head of Jack Young Plumbing, and said to Jack that he probably wouldn't be able to make a decent living playing in the lower reaches of English football. On the other hand, his football-loving mum encouraged him to take a leap of faith and sign for this new team, Regen Rovers. It didn't look like he'd break into the first team at Brackley Town anytime soon, and she saw the potential in this new team, Regen Rovers, who were only signing 16 and 17-year-olds for their first season in the National League South. Jack signed for Regen Rovers and moved to Reigate, where he shared a house with some of the new players at the club, including Dr. Jones, Alfie Doddington and Dion Mills. Now, this is where it gets really strange, because the manager of Regen Rovers was me. And I have no recollection of this, of course. I mean, this is just bizarre. Jack tells me that this story took place in a parallel universe. So how did he get into this world? I asked him, but he wanted to go into some more details. I guess to help to convince me to take this football management job he was offering me. At this point, of course, I was sceptical because a random guy had turned up at my door saying he wanted to offer me a job and claiming to be from a parallel universe. However, he continued with his story and he had some video evidence of the club's exploits, meaning I started to find it very hard not to believe him. So in the first season of the club's history, Regen Rovers struggled. They almost got relegated. But this goal from Dr. Jones saved the day in quite miraculous circumstances. You can see Jack Young was involved in the play. He actually was the top goal scorer that season. And for a few seasons after, really, the team of part-timers had survived against all odds with this last gasp goal. The club continued to struggle with their group of young players. They came to be known as the Younglings because of their incredibly young players. In fact, I as the manager was only 25 at the start of the club's history, according to Jack Young. Anyway, Regen Rovers survived the next two seasons as well, before getting promoted to the National League in the fourth season. Jack Young continued to work as a plumber for his dad behind the scenes. He even set up a new branch of the company down in Surrey, and a few of the players, the Regen Rovers players, worked for him. Eventually, he would go on to own the company when his dad retired, and he wouldn't have to do as much plumbing in the future because he had other people working for him. But unfortunately, on the pitch, Jack Young's journey wasn't all plain sailing. He got injured a few times in his career, but a particularly bad one kept him out for a long period. However, the club still did well, and they actually managed to get to the playoff final, and he came off the bench to score a crucial goal in the National League playoff final in the last few seconds to get Regen Rovers promoted to the Football League for the first time. Despite this glory, It did look like his dad's prediction would come true. He was earning a lot more money from his company, Jack Young Plumbing. He was down the pecking order in League 2 and then in League 1, and only the manager's loyalty, that's me, kept him in and around the first team. Some fans said Jack's days were over, but there was a hardcore bunch of loyal supporters that adored Jack Young and wanted to see him start and made sure the manager know it. Then one day, when Regen Rovers were fighting for a place in the Championship playoffs, Jack came off the bench and scored a wonderful goal that very few people expected. That goal confirmed a place in the playoffs. And even though they failed to gain promotion that season, the legend of Jack Young continued. Eventually, Regen Rovers were promoted to the promised land of the Premier League and had a couple of fantastic seasons, going on to win the League Cup in their second season in the top flight and even got to the FA Cup final, unfortunately losing to Manchester United. I even managed to grab the job of England manager somehow. I mean, this just seems ludicrous to me, but according to Jack, I called him up. And along with other Regen Rovers legends such as the all-time top goal scorer Spencer Drury, legendary goalkeeper Lee Ellis, and old-time hero Dr. Jones. On the eve of the World Cup squad being announced, the 2030 World Cup, so far in the future, just boggles the mind, Dr. Jones called up Jack Young to say he had a problem with his toilet. As it was midnight, instead of waking up one of his staff members, Jack went round to his mate's house himself to take a look. This is when things get weird, I warn you. Whilst mending the toilet, he slipped and fell. His head fell into the toilet bowl and suddenly he was sucked down into the U-bend where he was transported to what turned out to be a parallel universe. Our universe. Jack was obviously confused and stunned. He soon discovered that he was back in the year 2016. He was alone in this new parallel universe. Despite being 31 in the old universe, he was now officially only 17 years old in this new universe, our universe, according to his birth date, of course, because he was born in 1999. Over the next year, he worked hard and set up a new Jack Young plumbing company. His knowledge of plumbing was second to none, and it soon transpired that he held knowledge on this noble art that did not even exist in our universe. He soon was able to hire staff and grow his company. And by the end of 2016, he was a wealthy man, just in a matter of months really. He'd given up on his dream of playing football. His body was growing tired. He was obviously old. He was in his early 30s, even though in this universe he wasn't. But he decided instead he would set up his own football team. So at the end of 2016, he created his old club, Regen Rovers, just as a shell. Nothing to it to start with. He just created the club and had a name, and he was literally the only staff member. Of course, to everyone in this universe, Regen Rovers was a brand new concept. He managed to track down some of the old club legends: Dr. Jones, Spencer Drury, Lee Ellis, Danny Bye, and Patrick Dibber. They were bemused at first, of course, just like me, but they felt a strange connection between themselves, even though they had all never met, and had certainly never met this strange man called Jack Young. They formed his new board for Regen Rovers, and that's where I come in. Jack Young tracked me down and asked me to become the first ever manager of Regen Rovers. And after hearing this incredible story, I had to agree, even though I've literally got no experience of football management. So my first ever foray into real football management is with this new team, Regen Rovers. No history in this universe, but you've seen the footage. You know, in the old universe, legendary club going from nothing, going from chumps to champions. He also agreed that I could broadcast my management journey on my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, and that's where you guys come in. Perhaps you have a strange feeling like me that there is a truth to this, and in the back of your mind, this Regen Rovers story rings a bell. You know, there's something to it. There's like a distant memory, like another memory from a different universe. But on the other hand, it might not at all. This could be completely new to you. Either way, I want you to be part of this journey. So join me for the adventure of Regen Rovers. I hope you enjoy the ride. So obviously that was all just a bit of fun, a backstory introducing you to Regen Rovers and why it has returned for Football Manager 2019. Regen Rovers rising from the ashes of the old series, just like the Phoenix in our new club badge. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the details of the series in a separate unlisted video. I don't want to make this video way too long, so for those of you that are interested in finding out when the series is starting and a few other details surrounding it, click on the video link in the description below. That will take you through to an unlisted video that you can watch. You can only watch it using that link. But thank you for watching this video, The Tale of Jack Young. Just a little introduction to this series for FM19. I hope you're looking forward to it. If you are, please leave a like. But until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2019. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.